Today I want to make a first addition for the archive of fulfilled predictions. These are the moments when careful observation of planetary cycles, fixed stars, and using ancient Vedic techniques revealed patterns before they became public news. I will treat this archive with respect because it shows what Jyotish can do when the analysis is honest and grounded. I will go through each case step by step. The sequence reflects how the events unfolded starting November 2024 and up until November 2025. It's Irina K. Welcome back to my channel, Astrobabushka. So first is the prediction about the outcome of the presidential election. Predicting such an event for a mundane astrologer who only is starting analyzing world events, priceless, and it definitely gave me courage to keep going. By the way, I recently published a book about what led me to this correct prediction, so check it out. Second case involves the appearance of Zelensky in the Oval Office. On February 22nd, I presented an experimental technique that links immediate events to short windows of planetary activation. And based on this, on his transit through sensitive points, I said that Zelensky would receive a visible public support. And days later, he spoke at the European Summit about strengthening a united military structure. Audience was applauding to him, and I also mentioned that he would face obstacles from higher authorities around February 28th. And at that moment, there were no rumors about upcoming meeting between Zelensky and Trump. Yet soon afterwards, the news confirmed exactly that. And we all know how that meeting went. For me, this was an important sign that this experimental method works, so now it is in my daily use. It is especially useful in making solar return charts with yearly forecasts. Now, the third fulfilled case relates to NATO and its escalative tendencies, growing from March 2025 and peaking around the beginning of September 2025. So in my video about the Saturn and Rahu conjunction and the eclipse cycle, I said that NATO would increase its activity along the eastern flank and that internal preparations for a wider framework would appear within 6 months after March 2025 eclipse. By the September 2025, NATO launched the Eastern Sentry Initiative, held a military committee conference in Riga, and published new statements against airspace violations, and many more. And so those events happened just before the solar eclipse or eclipse season on September 2025, which places them inside the 6-month eclipse influence from March 2025. So the timing fit the pattern precisely. Now, number 4, and it is the underwater volcano prediction. In my 2025 world forecast, I based on mainly fixed stars wrote that the combination of watery significations and pressure from underground layers can show floods, underwater eruptions, and problems connected with the deep water resources. For some time, I was looking into area of the Mount St. Helens when reports came out about the underwater volcano near Oregon that may erupt and threaten thousands of lives. The picture became clear. I also have a new weird red mark on my tattoo on wrist right near Oregon. I actually recently published a post on YouTube about it. So my next, the most important task for myself is to be able to refine location and understand how the planetary patterns choose a specific spot on Earth to manifest. And I'm working hard now on mastering this astrocartography tool. Now, number 5 is the prediction of a terrible tornado and flooding season, specifically in United States. I spoke about the total lunar eclipse with Al-Qaid in March 2025 and said that the Western Hemisphere would face strong, destructive weather. The last time similar eclipse occurred was 1998, which was a year of severe storms. The alignment repeated and the pattern repeated as well. Now, number 6 is the rise of mass artificial intelligence-related psychosis. In my 2025 world prognosis, I stated that mental health problems would rise through overuse of new technology. At that time, it sounded theoretical, yet the world very quickly showed how fragile the human mind becomes when exposed to constant digital stimulation and extreme information loads. So this prediction unfolded faster than expected. Number 7 is the mass protest wave. In the video about the ruler of the year, I showed that Mars was debilitated at the beginning of the cycle, which often brings collective frustration. Mars rules action, and when it's weakened, people feel blocked, which produces unrest. Protests across several regions around the globe confirmed this tendency. 8th is the rare minerals confrontation. On January 30th, I published my world prognosis, which I recorded on January 20th. And I said bluntly that disputes over rare minerals would become central because these resources are essential for artificial intelligence development, quantum technology, and space engineering. So no article or report at that time mentioned such plans. Then in early February, the New York Times published material about negotiations between Trump and Ukraine over mineral access. After that came the executive order making mineral dominance a national priority and new deals with Australia, if I believe correctly. Astrology once again pointed to the underlying motives of global powers before official statements appeared. Now, 9th is Saturn transiting Neptune. I explained that Pisces is a water sign, and when Saturn moves through it, karma often comes in the form of environmental events. Floods, tsunamis, rising water levels, shortages in migration pressures may follow. Here are the most destructive ones. Typhoon Kalmai-Egi in October to November 2025. Super Typhoon Fang-1 in November 2025. Hurricane Melissa, October 2025. Central Texas floods earlier the year. Glacial floods in Nepal, Afghanistan, Pakistan in May through June 2025. And U.S. tornado outbreaks, mainly on May 2025. And few others, and also important to notice Kamchatka earthquake tsunami in July 2025. Now, Saturn will be in exact conjunction with Neptune in 2026, and up until 2027, Saturn will be transiting Pisces. So the more devastating water natural disasters are expected. And if you check sometimes, the Economist magazine publishing the prognosis for the next year, and if you check their cover, you can see there's a lot of water themes are on the cover. So next year we're not going to see any reduce of these topics. Now, 10th is fun one. So based on fixed star Canes Venatici, also known as hunting dogs, and linked to Mars Ketu conjunction, I stated hunters will become hunted. I think it was August 2025. And I couldn't believe my eyes when a week or more later, the official account on X platform of White House published picture of Trump with the line, "I was hunted, now I'm the hunter." So that synchrony is still a mystery to me. And by the way, I will organize all the predictions that came true in the form of articles, so you can go ahead and check in the description box. So all the links, all the screenshots and important, proof will be there. Now, 11th fulfilled case comes from lunar eclipse with Akirnar star. The eclipse path moved directly over Antarctica. And in my September video, I said that we would likely hear news about a point of no return connected with a major ice breakage. So in September 2025, several reports focused on rapid disintegration of the massive iceberg A23, along with new research warning about long-term Antarctic ice instability and growing risk that certain regions may reach an irreversible state. This matched the eclipse signature exactly. 12th is the decline of Zelensky's public reputation starting in October 2025. I said in March that this period would mark the beginning of a slow downward curve for him. In November, the scandal about corruption appeared in major headlines exactly on astrological schedule. 13th is the revisiting of Epstein files. And up until now, I was pronouncing it wrong. I was saying Epstein files. Epstein files. Excuse me for that. In the eclipse material, I said that secrets connected to influential figures would be reopened. During this period, Prince Andrew lost his remaining honors and his residence. The theme of hidden information rising to the surface continued. 14th is the prediction about Zohran Mamdani. One day before the election, I found what appeared to be his chart, and I said that if the data was correct, he was positioned to win. So the result confirmed this reading. I cannot really say that it's a very big, major prediction by me that I should be proud, because I didn't make it ahead of time, and but still, one day before that, I did. But let's see, because I made the whole video about him, that he's a long-term player in the political game. So with the years, we will see how that prediction unfolds. So 15th case comes from my personal solar return, and I saw that either a new child or a new creative project would appear before winter. I did not become pregnant, but I did complete the book on the presidential election. My chart also showed Ketu in the 9th house, which usually signals caution regarding teachers or mentors, yet I interpreted it through its passage in its own sign. And I thought it might reveal a karmic guide instead of difficulties. A month later, I finally wrote the letter that I held inside for months, and I asked to join the Sangha of the Guru teacher, of Jyotish teacher Mark Boney, whose work and teachings and books shaped my path as an astrologer for the last several years. And after his consideration, I became part of that lineage. At least I feel more connected with the teachings of Boney and Kain Rao. And it brought a sense of alignment and trust in the road ahead. Okay, so this archive is not entertainment. It's a record of how ancient methods read the structure of time. Every fulfilled event reminds me that astrology requires discipline, humility, and constant study. It is not enough to predict. One must also understand why the prediction became real, because only then can we move with clarity into the next cycle. Astrology works like a sailboat. When you know the direction you need to follow and you understand your planetary periods, the movement becomes easier. It feels as if the wind carries you forward without wasted strength. There's another image that fits as well. Astrology acts like a personal guide or a GPS. When you see a sharp turn ahead, you slow down before the bend and avoid the collision that would have come from moving blindly. Knowing the rhythm of your own time allows you to travel with more confidence and less fear. If you're interested in the deeper layers behind these events, I will continue to expand this archive and explain the techniques behind each case. Thank you for staying with me, and I see you in the next video. Bye.